Hi folks, it's Andy and welcome to this week's Kendo Rant. Okay, so here we are for another week of fantastic questions. There's not so many to get through today, so it should be nice, short, sharp, sweet, chop, 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 done. And we'll get to them in just a minute. But before we do, don't forget, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment down below using the word Kendo. Something like, wow, what an amazing, brilliant, fantastic, awesome Kendo video this is. Words to that effect. If you do that, YouTube releases the robots. They go out there, they find the people that are about to start Kendo, and they convince them to start Kendo, and then we grow the Kendo population. So you can grow the Kendo population by just doing that. All you have to do, like, share, subscribe, put a comment. The comment is important. Liking it as well is pretty big as well. So click like, that turns on the robots. Right in the comments, sets them out. All right, we've already had loads of people start Kendo. We're aiming for 6 million. We've done at least half of that now, probably, just by doing this. So, you know, let's get to 6 million. Yeah, 6 million people starting Kendo just through liking and commenting on these videos. Subscribing helps as well. Doing the YouTube magic. But most importantly, you can support this channel if you like the videos that I put out. If you like this sort of stuff, if you like the feedback videos that I do, I've got a new feedback video coming next week, probably. I've got some in my inbox. I know there's some of you out there that have sent me stuff. I haven't done it yet. I do everybody's that sends it to me, okay? So I will get to it. But we got feedback. We've got Kendo Rant. We've got instructional stuff. We've done the ways to hit men. I'm going to do ways to hit kote as soon as I get a chance to film it. I've been super busy recently. I'll be honest with you, super busy. But I will get to do it. We're going to carry on the Zero to Sandan series as well. Supported by shopping at KendoStar.com. It's the best Kendo equipment website in the history of the human race and beyond. Even the dinosaurs thought that KendoStar was the best, right? So get to KendoStar.com. It's the best Kendo equipment website. You get the best equipment. You get the best service. Everyone's a winner. Now, of course, I'm going to say all this stuff because I own the place. All right. But everybody agrees with me. We're the highest rated. You get the best gear, best service. You support the channel. Everyone's a winner, baby. That's the truth. Get to KendoStar.com. Right, let's get to these questions. All right. Okay, I'm getting close to purchasing my first bogu. Super excited, and I was wondering which set you would recommend between the Myrmidon and the Kamui. Okay, it's a good question. People often ask it. I would recommend, if it's your first bogu set, I'd recommend the Myrmidon. All right. I know it's a little bit cheaper than the Kamui for a start. Like a little tip. This is going to date this video, so if you're watching this in like a week's time, probably you're not going to benefit from this. But you know, like, it's the 1st of December. Sale is pretty much finishing today. I'm letting it stay on probably till a little bit longer, so everyone in every time zone is benefiting from it. But if you pick up the Myrmidon right now, you can get a free bogu bag with it, and it's a decent one as well. So, but that offer might be gone by the time you watch this. So if you're watching this in the future, sorry, but still the Myrmidon's quality bogu set. So Myrmidon, I would go with that as your first one. A couple of reasons why. The Myrmidon is designed specifically to be a really protective bogu set. It's the most protective bogu set I think I've ever seen. And the great thing about that is when you're first getting used to wearing the bogu, I think one of the things that really turns people off Kendo in a way, or is one of the reasons people quit, is because sometimes the bogu they're using doesn't necessarily protect them as much, and that's why indeed we came up with the Vanguard series. The Myrmidon's it's a great set. It's going to protect you well. It's going to be comfortable. It's going to look awesome. And we've got it in stock as well, so you can get it faster. It's not that Kamui is not a great set. Kamui is a brilliant set as well. It really is. It's a lovely set, the Kamui. But it's made to order, so you have to wait longer for it. I'd recommend going like, you know, you can get a made to order set straight off. I'm not saying you can't. Lots of people do. That is totally fine as well. But if you want to get stuck in and get practice in, then go with the Myrmidon, right? And you can't go wrong, right? And you can have it fast. You'll have a great set. You'll be happy with whichever one you choose. Kamui's great as well. It looks awesome. It looks well good. You sacrifice a little bit of the comfort than you get from the Myrmidon and a little bit of the protection, of course, because of the way it's stitched. But it looks super sharp. So if you wanted, you know, if you really like the look of the Kamui, then go with the Kamui, of course. But if you're just asking me straight up for your first bogu set, which one you should buy, answer's a Myrmidon. All right, so go with that. Unless you really want the Kamui, then go with that instead. I've heard that one should hold the shinai so that there's no gap between the door and the arm. I find it's very difficult and it feels like I'm straining my arm in a weird way. Is there a way to do it comfortably? Right, let me see if I can get this on the actual camera. So, probably can't hear me because I'm going to have to stand up. But the way that like you want to hold your arm in your kamae is like kind of, your left arm wants to be kind of like this, like kind of relaxed. I've got a feeling what you're doing is probably like extending your left arm too much like this, which is why you're probably holding it something like this, which is why it's not, you're getting a gap here, and then to kind of push that against your door like that is probably a little bit awkward. But if you have it a little bit more relaxed here, then this will naturally sort of sit here. Now I'm not going to say, having said that, I'm not saying you should definitely like press your left arm against your door. You shouldn't. But it is a bit odd if I look at your kamae from the front, if I can see a gap between your arm and your door, probably there's some issue there with the way you're holding the shinai. And I would guess, without seeing it, I would guess that it's from your left arm being sort of too straight or too tense. Okay? So that's what I would say. On that front, it's hard to say without actually seeing it. All right? We're firing through these. This is going to be a fast show today. Okay. Hello, Andy Sensei, and thanks for keeping up with the YouTube channel. Thank you for keeping watching it. A quick question. When striking on doors, should both hands be clearly gripping the shinai at the contact moment to be considered ippon? Or is it okay to perform most of the strike with two hands and using the right one only just as a moment of impact? I'm asking this because many shinai videos happen so fast, the transition from two hands to one hand, it's hard to pinpoint the exact moment. I'll continue using both hands as my sense instructed me, but I'd like to know your view on the subject as Shimpan from Shimpan perspective. Thank you very much. Right, okay. Okay, we ready for this? We ready? Okay, look, in principle, you should always strike the door with both hands firmly on the shinai. Okay? In principle. But look, that's actually not written in the criteria of Yuko Datotu. That isn't to say you shouldn't do it. Right? The criteria of the Yuko Datotu says the strike must have the correct tsuyosa to sae. Okay? And the good tenouchi. Alright? So the good hitting technique. Alright? You can't do that with just the right hand. Okay? So the fact is, right, like you say, with a very fast, very good player, it's impossible to see the exact moment that they let go of the shinai. But it is easy to tell as an experienced shimpan if they're making the strike with kentai no ichi and using their body and their hands and their shinai, their sword, and their spirit all together in their door strike, this way, or whether they're just doing a hand strike, okay? It's very easy to tell. So there's a big difference, all right? So I don't like to kind of really, like, get overly, like, concrete on, like, saying you must have both hands locked firmly on the shinai at every moment, right? Because it's not natural to do that. There's a natural sort of way to swing the shinai when you're striking do, yeah, especially like the oju do, yeah, there's a natural way to do it, right? And when you do it correctly, it kind of, you know, to be like, oh, at this split second, this must be in this position. It's not, it's just not natural, right? It's not right, yeah? So in principle, yes, you should have both hands on the shinai when striking, right? In principle. And it's obvious when the strike is coming just from the right hand, bam, this way, all right? And it can't be ippon in that case, all right? It can't be ippon in that case. So... in principle, yes, both hands need to be on the shinai, because you can't make the, and it's not that both hands have to be on the shinai for it to be ippon. It's that both hands need to be on the shinai in principle for you to be able to make the strike with kikentai no ichi and correct tanuchi tsuyosa tosae in order to be awarded the ippon or considered the yuko datotsu. All right, it's not how many hands on the shinai is not one of the judging criteria, yeah, but it's pretty much not possible to meet the judging criteria if you don't make the proper strike, if that makes sense. All right, so yeah, it you know, it is an image, both hands, pa-pam, and then you can let go after the strike a little bit, and that's the best way to do. All right, if you do just with one hand like this, bing, like this, like lots of them do, then it shouldn't be a bomb. Okay, does that make sense? Anyway, which do you prefer, perforated or non-perforated kote in the tenuchi, and why? Okay, so good. This is a really good question, and you can very easily find out the answer by looking at the lineup of bogu sets on KendoStar, which I've designed all of them, and you'll see none of them have the perforated tenuchi. By perforated, you mean what they call in Japan micro punch. So what you have is the palm of the kote. It has like it's got loads of little tiny holes on it. There's benefits and there's drawbacks. All right. Now so I've a lot of experience with the micro punch kote. All right. They were like you don't see much anymore, funnily enough, actually. But I do remember when they were like the thing, like when I lived in Japan, it was when they like really sort of took off, and they were the kind of the big thing. Now the thing about them is they do dry faster. All right. You could argue the lighter, whether that's lighter enough to really matter in any case. I don't think so, but they do dry faster. But they do tear sooner. It's a fact, they tear sooner. They've already got holes in them, right? So those holes get bigger and start to tear between it. It's just a fact. It is what it is, right? That is what it is, especially as it's always done with synthetic leather. And some of them were like really cheap synthetic leather as well, which was like, it was really easy to peel away. So personally, I prefer the non-perforated ones, all right? The regular ones, all right? They last longer, and I don't think the micro punch is necessary, all right? So, and as I say, so you don't really see it much anymore. Not from companies that like design bogu well, anyway. Right, okay. Next one. Hello, Andy Sensei. I recently ordered and received a KendoStar Hakama with my name embroidered in Japanese. I love it. It looks great. Thank you. This got me thinking about day. I'm a bit of a joker. I take what I do seriously, but I don't want to take myself too seriously. How many rules of Reiho would it be breaking if I ordered another Hakama with something like Fat Old Man or I Stink at Kendo embroidered on it? It struck me as funny, self-deprecating bit that non-Japanese speakers wouldn't get. Thanks again for all the good work you do. Okay, so, right. I get what you're saying, all right? And I've sort of been there and done it a little bit as well. I'm not going to lie, all right? I don't necessarily recommend it, and there's a couple of reasons why. First off, like you say, only Japanese speakers are going to be able to understand it. And if they're Japanese people, like Japanese people, in my experience, don't tend to use that sort of humor all that much. All right. So the humor would get lost. The humor itself, the joke, would likely get lost in translation. Now that's going to depend, of course, on the environment you're in. If you're in like an environment with like, you know, like people that are, maybe there's Japanese people there, but they lived a long time abroad, or maybe they're sort of you can't have dual nationality with Japan, but they're, you know, maybe they're sort of you know, like Japanese, ethnically Japanese, but nationality of different countries, something like that. You know, maybe they understand that sort of humor a bit more. Then maybe. But the other thing as well is like the translation. You're gonna have to be careful with. Right? Like if you want I stink at Kendo, you're gonna have to be really clear with those. Like if you order that from us, that's fine. But I would shoot us an email as well, just to sort of say, because like you know, you don't want it to be translated into like you like literally smell bad, like, you know, which could happen. So it'd be best if you sort of sent us an email and just said, you know, just get Andy to look at the translation or something like that, because, you know, my staff doing the translation are like the Japanese, and like my wife's heading it up, for example, my wife Miyuki, and you know, that sort of humor doesn't necessarily translate so well. And yeah, look, it's sort of all right for Keiko. Don't do it. Don't wear it to Shiai or grading, no. All right. Or I wouldn't even wear it at a seminar. Yeah. Like in your own dojo. Okay, I guess so. Fair enough. Fine. Actually, in your own dojo, but don't be wearing it outside. Yeah. Because it can look as well, especially, you know, and you know, like if you got like a Japanese visiting sensei, it's not impossible for them to think like, well, you know, I understand, because you've explained, obviously you take Kendo seriously, but you know, you don't want to take yourself too seriously, which I get and I understand that, but it could be easy from a third party point of view, especially like say like a Japanese sensei, maybe if they're a bit older or something like that, to be like, well, this guy really serious about this, or he's just messing around. You know what I mean? So I'd just be a little bit tentative around that sort of thing, to be honest. Okay, next one. Feel free to direct me to a video where you addressed jodan or kamae in the past. But here's a question. What are the reasons that you have come across for individuals switching to jodan? Why do Kendoka switch? I haven't talked about jodan so much. I certainly haven't done a video teaching about it. Okay. How honest do I go with this answer? Right. Well, most jodan players in the world are Japanese, right? Because most Kendoka in the world are Japanese. And most of them start jodan because their teacher tells them to, usually when they're a high school student. And there's a number of reasons. It could be because they're tall. Could be because they're not that good at chudan. Maybe the team needs somebody that they know can get the hikiwake. All right? Like for the sake of the team. Could be. Maybe the other players need a jodan player to practice against. So the sensei might pick someone. You're going to do jodan from now on. Sometimes the players themselves would say, I want to do jodan. I have the interest in jodan. Okay. And it depends on their individual reasons. Outside of Japan, I think lots of people want to do jodan because they want to be a bit different. It's fine. It's fine. You know, it's fine. I think a lot of people give it a try and then realize it's like quite a lot harder than they probably anticipated. And I know there's people that sort of mess around with it every now and again. I never tried jodan, to be honest, really until about 2 years ago. Was the first time I ever did jodan. and I had to do it because I had an injury to my I had tennis elbow actually in my right arm, and I couldn't do jodan very well. I don't really like the concept either of doing jodan for the sake of an injury, but you know, sometimes it's the only option if you have to practice, right? I had to because I was leading the dojo, so kind of had to. But yeah, I think that's the main reason people outside Japan do it. They want to try it because it's a bit different. They want to be a little bit, I wouldn't say they want to be unique, but they, you know, they want to kind of be a little bit different or swim against the tide a little bit. But you know, it's very rare that, here's the fact, and this is going to upset some people, but there's not very many good jodan players. Okay, not very many. And I mean that like in Japan too. Most jodan players in Japan are not very good. It's very rare that you see a good one. And that's why like most of the like really top schools, really top high schools, don't have the jodan players in the team. And they don't have the, you don't often see them like do very well in very high level tournaments like the All Japans or the police championships, stuff like that. Every now and again you might see one who's brilliant, but it's super duper rare. Okay. So it's like kind of, you know, you could argue, and I would potentially argue that it's like, it's not really as good as jodan, is it? You know what I mean? So otherwise there'd be more people that were really good at it, right? So yeah. Anyway, right, let's move on. Last one, we're at the end. Last one. I told you it was a short, sharp video today. Are there any written or unwritten rules about visiting other dojo? More specifically about visiting dojos, other dojos during one's own dojo's training time. Should one's home dojo training take precedence over going to visit another dojo? This would be for instances of regular training rather than if a high-level sensei were visiting another dojo and other dojo members were invited to come and train with them. Okay. I'd say the unwritten rules about visiting another dojo is, first of all, just make sure you get in touch with them before you go if you haven't been before. And that, you know, they're all right with you coming. If you've been there before and you go there every now and again, whatever, it depends on the relationship you've got with the group over there. But if it's the first time you're going, get in touch. Say, look, oh, I practice this club. I really like to come over and practice on this day. Is that okay? Something like that. I'm sure they'll be fine. Then visiting during your own dojo's training time, it depends really. I mean, I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. Like, especially if like you're the most senior person in your dojo and the other dojo's got like someone you can learn from that's like more senior. I think doing that every now and again isn't necessarily a bad idea. In fact, it's probably a good idea, all right? In fact, it is a good idea, because otherwise you're just gonna, you're in a sort of echo chamber if you're not careful. It's really easy when you find yourself in that position. So, you know, like if I had higher level teachers near to me who were practicing on the same day as me, that I didn't often get to practice with, then probably, yeah, I would every now and again I'd ask someone else to run the practice and I'd go over there and learn from them. So yeah. And especially, yeah, I think that's fine. But like, obviously you can't do it every week, but maybe like every couple of months or something, you could do that, right? If you don't have other opportunities to do it. Okay, that's what I would say. And that's it. I think we're there. I think we're at the end. Wow, that was a fast one today. Thank you everybody for joining me. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, set out those YouTube robots. Let's grow the Kendo population. Don't forget to shop at KendoStar. And I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.